One day, I began to think, why do people make changes? And why do people take risks?
Me and my brother, who have always worked closely together, we grew up uh, working in the store. And Bob kept telling me that we needed to go to Atlanta and start working on uh, constructing houses and apartments. And we started with a big company. Uh, it was Ryland Homes. And this was in the early 70s. And Ryland Homes decided they were going to sub out, which they let us go at that point because we were company crews.
I was working at Walmart for 4 years, I think, until I couldn't handle it anymore. And honestly, I felt like I was going without any direction. So I quit. Not the smartest move because I didn't really have anything else to do, but I quit and I had the support I needed. And I floundered for a while.
4 or 5 of us got together and formed, and I didn't really want to do this, but the company was called Billy L. Hanson Contractors, which I've never gone by since then. But we worked that way for a couple of years, and then we kind of dissolved. And I got left holding unemployment tax and several things, and I finally got that worked out. And I got some good guys, and I started doing mostly exteriors on the siding of the houses and the overhangs and sort of specialty uh, work on houses.
I had to do something. I was looking for other jobs, like things like anything, not really having a clear goal or anything like that. And I realized that I needed a career in something that I actually cared about. So I worked for just a brief moment for a different dog groomer. They were going to help me and kind of teach me a little bit. Um, that didn't quite work out, but in the meantime, this really great groomer told me about Nash Academy, which was where I went to school. Um, and that they were for dog grooming. And I looked into it, and I think I enrolled the next week.
But surely it can't be that easy or simple, then everyone would be doing it. It wouldn't be risky.
Almost every phase, I was always uh, apprehensive about trying something new, but it don't. And a lot of times, we would start something, and I wouldn't have a clue as to how it was going to work out. But I don't know. I guess for the grace of God, things worked out fairly good for me because, and I think it had a lot to do with dedication and a little bit of prayer and just having worked with my dad for so many years and saw how he worked, uh, and things just seemed to come naturally for me.
The most difficult part was where the school was actually in Kentucky, and living in Georgia, it meant kind of packing everything up and me going for 2 months to just learn all that I could. Um, so that was kind of difficult because it's not, you know, Kentucky from where I was at was um, a 10-hour, 8-hour drive away. Um, so that was probably the most difficult part, was just the fact that in order to do it, I had to make no money for a couple months, um, leave my family, and just kind of do it completely on my own. I don't think that I ever really questioned whether or not it would work out. I think that, like with anything, there are risks that you don't know about that you can't really anticipate. The main thing was am I going to be good at this? Am I going to like this? Because it seems like a very easy thing until you get into it, and dogs try to bite you, and you have to keep them calm and not hurt them. And so I think the most difficult part about changing careers is just the fact that I went from something that I knew very well and was very easy to something that I didn't know how easy or hard or any of it would be.
So, how do you overcome the problems, the tough times?
Probably I would have tried to delegate more, and that I always had to have my hand on everything in the process. That was my strong suit and my biggest weakness. Look to people who are successful and ask them their opinion as to how it should go about.
I think that if you're thinking about changing careers, to just do it. And that's easier said than done, obviously. Not everybody can actually do that. You can't always make the sacrifices necessary right away. But if you want to do it, it'll be easy for you to do it in a way. At least for me, I didn't hesitate at all. I just did it. So I think that the best advice that I can give is just to kind of jump in, and that if you don't do it, then you'll never know.